4, 3, 2, 1. We are live. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Jason J. Daniel. I'm your host. And I had to go live. Brianna Turner, who is with the Las Vegas Aces, has dropped a huge bombshell, an allegation on X earlier today in the morning, and now it's catching fire. So I thought we'd talk about it. Guys, if you are not familiar with me, I am a podcaster that talks about sports, and I talk about the Fever. And we go live and we simulcast on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. So before we get into this, we're letting people queue up right now. Thank you. We are, as you can see, we've got the folks chiming in on YouTube, and I want your comments. I want to talk about this. First of all, okay, I want to say the tone of this show is going to be different. This is a serious allegation. Never, ever should this not be a serious allegation. So I want to set the tone, and I want you to know that I am open to everyone's opinion on this, and I want your conversation. That's why we're here. But let's be sensitive to this. We don't know any of the details. We just know there's an allegation, and I'm going to handle this in a sensitive manner. So I know you're used to me joking and having a great time, but this is different. This is breaking news that we have to talk about. And unfortunately, in our world, we have to deal with these kind of terrible things that happen to people. And we don't know the details. So just let me just start out by saying we're going to be sensitive to this, but I'm not going to censor anyone's free speech. Say whatever you want tonight. If you don't agree with this allegation, fine. We're going to take your voice. We want to hear your voice. But let's be sensitive, right? I'm not going to read any comments that are outlandish. And on TikTok, if you put outlandish comments, you could get the TikTok kind of muted and shut down. YouTube's a little different. But remember, this is an allegation, okay? We don't know if any of this is true, but the Fever organization did come out with a statement essentially verifying something went down. And for confidentiality, they're protecting the victims or victim. I just said victims because I don't know how many. But we'll get into the details. So there's enough smoke where we could talk about this. So there you go. Okay, the table's set. Guys, thank you for joining us. My name is Jason J. Daniel. Again, let's get into it. We have Desiree, who's the goddess of the chat. She's going to monitor the chat. I'm also going to monitor YouTube. And let's get into it. We already have a couple of comments. Before we get into it, let's talk. Let's get the comments. Joe on YouTube, thanks for watching, my friend, says, convenient time for her to speak up. I can't disagree with that. Right now, the Fever, let's just set the table on this. The Fever are getting slammed and harassed themselves by all of the haters and the crazy mafia of slanderers right now. We know it is a really convenient time for people to attack the Fever. They are having the most success they've ever had. Caitlin Clark is breaking records. Kelsey Mitchell, the Run BMC, Boston, they're blowing the roof off. There's a lot of jealous people, a lot of haters. Brianna Turner's a hater. She is. She's a total hater. All she does is post anti-American things, anti-government stuff, anti-people. I follow her on Twitter, and I regret it every time I read her stuff. She's toxic. She's bitter. Okay, but if what she said is true, it's a conversation. Guys, we have double digits on YouTube, and we have double digits on TikTok. Thank you guys so much. Hey, thank you for sending me a goat. Annabella sent me a goat. Let's see here. Thank you for the follow, Annabella. Let's see here. Please, and thank you, Dorothy, thank you for sharing my live. Tonight, we're just going to talk, man. We're going to have a fireside chat. No joking, no bullshit. We're just going to be real. It's a sensitive topic. This is a really problematic thing in our society. And there should be accountability, and there should not be cover-ups. But again, I'm going to tell you, I can understand covering the victim, right? I can understand confidentiality for the victim. That's super crucial. So if the Fever covered this up, my words, Again, it's all alleged to protect the victim. My hats are off to them to protecting the victim. Reports are saying they did fire someone, a male staffer or someone on the staff for the after the investigation. So they were trying to protect people. I get that, the victim. Nicholas said, if Caitlyn has the same mindset as Angel, okay, I'm sorry, we're not going to talk basketball. We will, but let's talk about the allegations. Let's talk about the bombshell. And if you guys want to talk basketball, we'll have a clean separation, and then we'll talk basketball. But let's talk about this allegation that's affecting the Fever. So before we continue, I'm going to read some of the news to you. We're going to get into it. But let's jump to the person who brought this up. So on TikTok, I'm going to a split screen. You guys can't see it, but on YouTube, you can see it. So right here on this side, we have Brianna Turner. She plays for the Aces. She used to play for the Fever, so we'll set the table. She had a so-so outing with the Fever. I liked her on the Fever, and when she moved on, no one shed a tear. She's a role player. She's on the Aces. She is now, I guess, part of the Players Association or something to that effect. I'm not clear. But she has a very active X account or Twitter account. She posts a lot of hostile stuff towards Caitlyn and towards the Fever. So a lot of people are going to discount this, saying, consider the source. I'm all about that. But again, if there was a cover-up, there's an allegation of a cover-up, it's a conversation. The Fever act like fascists sometimes. Let's be honest. Remember when the situation went down with Stephanie White and Caitlyn? The Fever removed a reporter from the locker room and said, you can't come in here. You can't come on our court. You can't cover us. So I think his name is Scott. There's a reporter that now who reports on the Pacers, by the way. He was removed from the entire situation. Maybe he still does Pacers, but he was told you can't come back. The Fever were trying to cover things up. They do cover shit up. Remember when Caitlin Clark showed up, looked good in practice, but then was a scratch for the game? That's when Scott got in trouble because he reported it was a strategic move, not a health-related move. That's a serious allegation. You don't want to ever do that. But they put Caitlyn on the injury report. They scratched her at a time that's not convenient, and they should have gotten a fine for it. When you scratch somebody that late, there has to be a good reason. And when there's controversy, the Fever got away with it. Guys, we're in double digits on TikTok and YouTube. So let's go back to, let's go to our, sorry about that, guys. A little error there. A little technical difficulties. I put up the wrong screen. Okay, so let's go back to YouTube. Guys, let's see here. Oh, Nicholas, no worries. Nicholas didn't realize the subject. It's okay, Nicholas. I appreciate you, my friend, for joining. And I understand that you support Caitlyn. I appreciate that. Nicholas had a basketball comment, and I kind of got on him. I'm not trying to get on you guys. I'm just trying to keep this serious because I want to respect this situation. We're in double digits on TikTok and YouTube. So if you guys have comments, let's get into it. Larry said the Fever should get sued for that. Well, Larry, that's an interesting conversation. Legally, I'm no expert, so please don't take my legal advice. But as far as lawsuits are concerned, looks like there was an investigation. And now I'll say this. Maybe there's an NDA signed. Maybe there was some kind of settlement to the victim. If the victim requested this to be confidential and it leaks out, the victim could have a case to be sued. Sure. Austin said, what happened? Beach said, spit it out already. All right, I'll spit it out. You guys are animals. Okay, here it is. Brianna Turner went on Twitter this morning, and you can check it out. I read it when it went live, and I was like, oh my God, really? We're doing this? We're pulling out old bones? So essentially, and this is the reporting, Brianna Turner said the Fever fired a male employee for sexual harassment. Players were told to keep quiet. This is her allegation. She posted it today. Now, Brianna she has a bone to pick. She's not happy with the Fever. She's unhappy. She's disgruntled. Let's keep in mind, she posts a lot of anti-American, a lot of anti-traditional things. She posted that she was mad at America for celebrating 250 years. Give me a break. You haven't been even alive for 30, okay? So she gets out of pocket and she says dumb shit, right? But this could be a serious situation. Desiree is the goddess of the chat. Thank you very much. Desiree, I was telling everybody, we're going to take all their comments because I want this to be open free speech. So Brianna Turner said, on the eve of All-Star Weekend, by the way, that her former team, the Fever, fired a male employee for last season for sexual harassment. Turner said that players were encouraged not to discuss it. The Fever did put out a statement. You could find the statement online. It's very simple. It's very milquetoast, cookie cutter, and said, yes, we addressed something, but we're protecting confidentiality, essentially. And here's what they wrote. Here's a quote. Protecting our players, the Fever said, and employees, and maintaining a respectful professional workplace is our top priority. The Fever said, our policy is to take concerns seriously, investigate thoroughly, and act promptly when appropriate to protect the people in our organization and ensure everyone is treated with professionalism and respect. Fostering trust and safety in that process means we do not comment, here we go, on personnel matters involving former employees. So they are not talking about it at all. They're not telling you who was harassed, but they're telling you a male, at least it leaked out that a male was doing the harassing. Guys, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the 4 new followers. Again, we're simulcasting on YouTube and TikTok. We're in double digits on TikTok. A beach. Did I spit it out already? Are you happy? Okay, there you go. So let's see here. Also, Brianna was talking about Sophie Turner. Sophie mentioned she supports just women in sports only. You know what that's about. I'm not getting into politics of that. I'm just giving you the facts. Guys, we don't do politics here. There's other places you can do politics. If you've noticed, I've avoided a lot of politics on purpose. It's not fun to me. That's not basketball. We cannot jam politics into everything, okay? I get that you guys love that shit. I don't. But I will address it as fact. So Sophie Turner said some things, and so Brianna's mad at her and hostile, and then as she was on her rant, she disclosed this. Now, maybe Brianna could be in trouble. Maybe there's an NDA out there. Who knows? Austin says, wait, so why is Caitlin on the graphic? Caitlin's on the graphic because she is the biggest star in the WNBA, and she is the leader of the team. And it's important to have her on the graphic. I'm not saying she's involved in it, but I put her on the graphic because it would be odd, I felt like, if she's not on the graphic. Makes sense? You might be asking, why did you leave Caitlin off the graphic? But look, they're leaders in the organization. I'm assuming that Caitlin Clark is keyed in on most things. Most of the stars are. They have a lot of power. I'm just assuming. I don't know. I'm just assuming. Okay. But who knows, man, what comes out? Look, honestly, let's be real. There was a big dust up. I'm always being real. There was a huge dust up with Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark. There was something we didn't know. There's a lot of secretive acts on this team. Remember when Caitlin was a scratch earlier this year? She came in practice. Scott Agnes, I guess is his name. People were reporting she's playing, and then they scratched her and said she was injured, and then they banned that reporter. They said, you can't report anymore. Then they started acting like the Gestapo, right? Cutting off free speech. That bothered me. I was like, why are you doing that? It's sports, right? You need to have accountability. So the Fever do cover things up. We've established that. Nicholas said, I bet she's upset because Caitlin all-star is an all-star and Bree's not. Well, look, Nicholas, Bree's I agree with you. Look, you would not post this unless you had a bone to pick, right? She posted this because she's angry, and she does a lot of angry stuff on Twitter. And look, she's on the Aces, and they're not doing that well. The Fever's hot. People do not like rejection. Turner was rejected. She could have stayed. She didn't stay. I don't know the details, but she's not that important. She really isn't. She's a mediocre player. She's not an all-star. So yeah, she could be jealous. And look, everybody that attacks the Fever gets famous. Boom. Overnight, she's famous. New York Times, USA Today. She's famous. Let's see what else. And that's it. That's all. That's this story. Let's see here. That's all we know. That's all we know. Yahoo Sports, they make a lot of shit up. So let's see what they said. They said, Brianna said players were told to keep quiet. Okay, so a male was fired for harassment. The Fever do confirm there was an investigation. Guys, thanks for following on TikTok. Thank you, monks, for following. And guys, we're in double digits on TikTok and YouTube. Let's see here. Brianna, here's Annie Constable. I think she's a reporter. She tweeted. Let's see here. Oh, she just tweeted the same stuff. Let's see here. Brianna Turner, you can check it out on X. She had a post that went 9 clips on X. They were like sub tweets, a 9-post thread. And let's jump in. Let me just go to it right now, and I'll read you the tweets. Guys, thanks for following. Thanks for joining. We're talking about the bombshell allegations that broke today. Brianna Turner is accusing the Fever of covering up a sexual harassment scandal that happened. The Fever do confirm that there was an investigation, and it turns out that there's confirmation a male staffer was fired. Now, look, I'll tell you this. Brianna Turner knows all the details, right? Reporters know the details. She probably got hit up. There's 1 million views on this post. She's now famous, and she's monetized. Think about that, right? So consider the source. And I think it's great timing. All-star, right? I think it's an interesting moment in time, but look, people are going to take advantage. People are going to be opportunists. I don't trust her as far as I could throw a basketball to her, but it turns out there was a thing that happened last year. Double digits on TikTok and YouTube. Thanks, guys. T. Will on TikTok. Are they required to publicly disclose this info? That's a great question. As far as, okay, let's say under the collective bargaining agreement, who knows what is in that? Misconduct is probably covered in the contracts. Misconduct is probably covered for the players. As far as an organization is concerned, they do have, when it comes to the WNBA, they're covered by the NBA, right? And as far as disclosing something like that, unless it has, I think it materially affects maybe the stock, maybe shareholders, if it was maybe a person who held a title, right? Like, let's say it was the GM, Amber Cox, right? Let's hypothetically, that would be something that you should disclose for investors. So I don't think there's any legal disclosures they have to do. I do feel like there's probably an NDA. And I do think if they covered it up, they're trying to help somebody out that's the victim. I'm good with that. What is intriguing to me, do you remember last year they replaced? Did they replace? Yeah, they replaced. No, this year. They replaced the GM. That's intriguing. Was the last GM a male? I don't know. I'm just saying, if you track back the moves that have been made, it's interesting in this light. So let's read the tweet. Let's see here. Oh, sorry. Ramona, who is Brianna Stewart? I'm sorry, Turner. Did I say Stewart? I'm so sorry. It's Turner. My bad. My bad. There's a lot of Stewarts and Turners. My bad. Thank you for correcting me. If I confused you, I'm sorry. If you were lightly saying that I'm confusing you, thank you. It's Brianna Turner, who played for the Fever last year, and she now plays for the Aces. Turner said, an issue, okay, last year on my NBA, oh, here we go. Okay, Turner said in this tweet, this was 23 hours ago. I saw it early this morning myself. I did not know this was going to catch fire, or I would have done the show earlier. She said, last year on my WNBA team, okay, a male staff member was fired for sexual harassment, but we were encouraged to keep quiet about it. That is an issue. And then she says, sexism, misogyny, homophobia, and racism are all issues. Okay, she's throwing in a political statement. I mean, I don't disagree with that. The last GM, okay, T. Will said the last GM is an 80-year-old consultant to the team. Hey, 80-year-olds can be freaky too. I'm not saying it was him, but he was a dude, right? I think he was a dude. Intriguing. As far as moves that are made on the coaching staff, I don't remember any moves, but I guess it's interesting because the Fever, they were probably more under the microscope than they are now. It's interesting. So for somebody to be released that was in the public eye, I don't think that's something that would have been overlooked. There was tons of scrutiny on this team. So I think that's intriguing. Let's drill down her other posts. And then she goes into, she starts talking about political things related to gender. Let's see, she continues that. So that's it. That's it. Most of the tweets are about supporting her political philosophies about gender. I'll put it out there. Why am I being careful with some of the things I'm saying? Because I don't want to have YouTube pull this. You have to be careful. Some channels go hard on this stuff. I don't. It's not useful. As L or Eli, is that L? L, there was an accusation last year that the Fever fired a male staffer for sexual harassment and covered it up. I think the biggest situation is telling people not to talk, right? That's not ever useful. Now, if the Fever players in their contract says they cannot disclose private personnel matters, then I can appreciate that. And the Fever did say in their statement, this is a personnel matter which they're not obligated and they will not disclose. Look, Brianna Turner knows who these people are. She's probably already told the media, and the media is starting to dig around until they can probably get 3 or 4 sources and release it. But I don't really want to know who the victim was, because I think it's important to protect the victims. I think you would agree with me. I understand what they're doing. I understand that what they did was they're trying to protect the victim. When they said keep quiet, if that's really what happened. Oh, by the way, we have the winning streak basketball up. The basketball state. This is the original Caitlin Clark ball from 3 years ago. Okay, all right, and that's our lucky basketball. I got distracted, but I think it's important to protect the victims. I lost track of what I was saying, and I could understand. Let's say you're on the Fever, right, and you really care about the victim. Why would you dox them? That's not useful. So but again, the Fever covers shit up. Remember the Caitlin Clark game where she was going to play, then all of a sudden she was a scratch, and there were rumors that there was a fight or she was upset and she walked off, and then, then that kind of became a thing, and then they told one of the reporters, you can't come back. So it was a very fascist thing for them to do. Firefighter says on TikTok, you keep it in-house and he was fired. Did exactly how it's supposed to be. I don't disagree with that, Firefighter. Cool name, by the way. I don't disagree with that. And in most organizations, the victim should be covered up and protected. Somebody was asking, T-Well was asking earlier on TikTok, was there possibly a legal implication for them to, would they be obligated to disclose it? And the conversation was probably not, unless it was like somebody on the board or someone in the organization material to the financial status, right? That's always a thing. Clearly, a lot of people high up knew about it. But look, the good news is they did something about it. That's the good news, right? Guys, we're in double digits on TikTok and YouTube. Thank you, guys. Let's just do some housekeeping. My name is Jason J. Daniel. Desiree is the goddess of the chat. She's the one taking care of you guys. You guys have been very civil tonight. Thank you on TikTok. YouTube, we also have folks on YouTube in the chat. The YouTube chat shows up on the screen, but not for TikTok. It's 2 feeds I'm simulcasting to, so the screens are a little different. I'm Jason J. Daniel on YouTube and Real Jason J. Daniel on TikTok if you want to swap back and forth. This is being archived on YouTube in the in my live section, so it's always going to be there. You can watch the raw video if you missed it. Thanks for watching, guys. Let's see here. Ramona said, no worries. Thank you. Thank you, Ramona, for keeping me honest. That's why the chat's dope, because you can start. I was calling her the wrong last name. If you heard me say Stewart, guys, it's Brianna Turner. Now I have a picture of Brianna Turner here. I'll just jump to it. You can't see it on TikTok, but I'll go to the split screen on YouTube. Sorry, it's a little buggy right now. I got to change the theme. It's okay. So did I say Stewart again? Here's Brianna Turner. She plays for the Vegas Aces now. She's not an all-star. She's a mediocre player. She's somebody that she drops a lot of bombs on Twitter. She tweeted she was mad at America for celebrating 250 years. I mean, she's a radical. Let's be honest. She posts radical stuff, but that's cool. Live your life. But this is a picture of her if you're trying to place the face to the name. T-Will on TikTok. All of the key male coaches of last year's team are back. Porter, Rob Dozer, and I don't see it's. Oh yeah, Austin Kelly. Now I will say this. Look, everyone's going to think, was it a coach? Brianna Turner said, coach, our male coach on our staff. That's intriguing. Now, you've got, look, the coaches came back cool. And I have to say, if an assistant coach was fired suddenly, that would have been news, right? So we're going to go back to a single screen, guys, on YouTube. Sorry, the graphic is buggy right now. I don't know if she sure is, Mike Medina said, a radical, 100%. She's a radical. Now, I'll say this. I don't like radicals. That's not my style. You know, but I think it's important to listen to everyone, right? Because, it's just important to let people speak their mind. Free speech is very important. And that's why I wanted to address it. Other streamers may not address this. I'm addressing it because I think it's important. And you've heard me. The only thing I get into politically is misogyny. I don't like that. And I will address that. But other things, that's not my style, not my thing. There's other streamers. You guys know what the political things are around this team and the WNBA, which is, it's astounding that we're doing this. But Asian 50 Cent, what's up, baby? Asian 50 Cent, he's my dog. Asian 50 Cent jumped to the chat. Okay, on TikTok, I'm stopped. Everybody follow Asian 50 Cent. Baron Lee. Baron is amazing. He's a wonderful guy. He's a friend of mine. We haven't talked in a while. I need to bring him on. I actually need to bring him on for you guys. He's incredible. I won't bring you on now, Baron, because you weren't prepared for that. But he has an incredible story. Okay, let me just tell you. Okay, let me tease the story. You can see 2 interviews down my feed. He's a great guy, wonderful man. He was somebody tried to assassinate him, shot him a number of times, and he survived to tell the story. It's an incredible story, and he's an amazing guy. And his story will blow you away. Okay, so it's good to see you, my friend. Asian 50 Cent, that is his title, okay? That's his. He got that nickname because he took, was it 9 shots? 9 shots and kind of walked away. It was a crazy story. So thank you, sir, for joining. Appreciate you so much. I've been great, my friend. I've been great. I have pivoted to all sports on my channels because that's really the vibe. But I'm still doing I'm still covering a lot of events, and we're gonna get you on because your story is amazing, and I think everybody should hear it. And I love having you on. You're a great guest, so thank you, sir. Secret Agent, thanks for joining. Why don't you follow me, Secret Agent? Guys, 7 new followers. Thank you very much. Like I was saying, yeah, thank you, sir. Asian 50 Cent is amazing. I could talk to him all day. Yeah, I did pivot to all sports because that's really my jam. I've been doing it for years. And but also in my personal life, I'm making some adjustments to my social, but I'll DM you later and give you those details. It's kind of undercover. It's good stuff, not bad stuff. But I also need to take a break from a lot of the interviews I was doing because it's very busy, very top heavy, and sports just started blowing up for me. My followers blew. For example, I got 1,000 followers on TikTok overnight. It was crazy, and YouTube. So I had to jump into that. And I love sports, and we try to keep it positive. So you're amazing, my friend. Thank you for joining. Guys, follow him. Baron is Asian 50 Cent on TikTok and everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and check his story out on People Magazine Investigates on HBO Max. I think you can watch it on, he's been in every major publication you can imagine. Just Google him, Baron Lee, Asian 50 Cent. You'll be reading for hours. The story's crazy. Yeah, definitely. I'll hit you up, sir, and I'll have you come back on. It'll be great. We'll talk sports because I know you probably have your favorite teams. Also, we're getting to football season too. You should be in our fantasy league. I know you're very busy, but anyway, he's traveling the nation. He does things for foster children. He's a great guy. He inspires me. T-Will, that's right, T-Will. That's the nickname. He was glossed Asian 50 Cent because he took the shots and walked away. He was just trying to go to work. An assassin jumps out of the bushes, tries to take him out, but the story gets even crazier. I don't want to spoil it. It's a must-watch story. Mike Medina says, and you know what? You're a very likable person. Thank you. Are you talking about me? Are you going to drop a bump? Everybody says, but I like this. Oh, okay. No, you didn't. You didn't roast me. I like this. I like your vibe. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. We talk sports, but also there's a lot of things in the world that I'm concerned with. We always have these things. And the reason why I don't do the politics per se, or I kind of steer away from it here, because you guys are getting crushed with it all the time. It's not something I want to talk about because if you want to get it, you can get it on other streamers, but we want to keep it basketball. But this is an interesting story when it comes to basketball. And also the WNBA is very political. Let's be real. I do roast them for being too over the top with their political demands of the fans and the false accusations against the fans. I think that's garbage, and I do address it, but it's not the full story. Mike said, I feel you. I'm born and raised in, let's see here. You said, Mike's on TikTok, I feel you. I'm born and raised in California, and we have problems with our mayor and our governor. Well, everybody knows I dislike Gavin Newsom. Sorry, don't get me going, baby. Gavin Newsom's a scum. Sorry. Hopefully, and if you guys don't like that, I'm sorry. I'm trying to behave. Anna Marie is chiming in from Chile. Thank you, Anna Marie. Thanks for joining. We love our international. We get a lot of international people. Craig joined. Thank you, Craig. Wahoo, what's up, baby? It's always good to see Wahoo. Wahoo's one of our moderators, our OGs. We're just talking about the bombshell that dropped. Brianna Turner, if you're joining late, she is a former member of the Fever. On Twitter today, I saw it drop in real time because I was doing my morning stuff, right? I checked the sports news, talking what if something's breaking. She dropped on Twitter a bombshell. Brianna Turner said when she was with the Fever, there was a sexual harassment investigation, a scandal essentially. A male staffer was fired and there was a cover-up. She says allegedly the Fever told everybody to keep quiet. So that's a problem. T. Will said, oh, yeah, and by the way, now Wahoo can moderate. So Desiree, you got some help with the heavy lifting. He's amazing. But he pinned his own comment. I'm good with that. Wahoo can do that. So yeah, and then T. Will said earlier, this is great on fantasy. I'm sorry, on All-Star Weekend Eve, 100%. This is why she did it. Not only that, but she was dropping all sorts of political stuff. You can read it if you want. Look, I respect everyone's opinion. And again, we won't get into a lot of stuff she said, but she does like to stir it up. So look, her tweet, 1 million views in 23 hours. She's very famous. You guys are asking about her, right? Now people want to know who she is. Well, she's a mediocre player, and she's not on the Fever. You can see why she's not on the Fever, because the Fever, they're about business. Clearly, this is a team that's rising in the ranks. Don't get me started. But now she's trying to jump in on that. And look, when you attack the Fever, when you attack Caitlin Clark, you become famous. Mike said, that's true, coach. That is true. Did you know he owns Home Depot? And that's how we get wanting. Who owns Home? Are you talking about Arthur Blank? I thought, there's actually 2 guys that own Home Depot. So yeah, that's right. Maybe does Arthur Blank is the owner of the Falcons. But anyway, the little bunny trail there. Let's see here. Thank you for liking my live. Everybody, Asian 50 thank you. Of course, you're the Man Sparkle Society. Thanks for coming back. Becca, you didn't follow me. Wake and Bake Santa. I like that. How about fantasy football? How about that fantasy football, baby? I know, I just got excited. We're easing out of this subject. We'll get to sports in a second, but I can feel we're easing out of it. Guys, join our fantasy league, the League of Goats. It's incredible. It's $2.99. If you're on TikTok, hit the membership, become a member. It's incredible. Desiree is a great player. Wahoo, we've got all the OGs. There are people already lined up to play. It's going to be incredible. YouTube, you can now join our membership on YouTube, but you will pay $1 more if you hit the button on the app. Go to the browser and join. You get the $2.99 special. And sorry for the commercial. And if you don't join before preseason, it jumps to $10. Okay? It's the greatest fantasy league you'll ever play. There you go. Thank you, Wake and Bake Santa. Let's see here. That name has a weird font. I'm sorry, I can't read. You're using a font that's hard to read. Habas. Oh, hold on. This is a spam. So I just took care of him. Cool. Right on. Let's see here. Breeze. Wake and Bake Santa's Breeze. What the heck? I love that title. Breeze, my man. I keep telling Breeze I'm going to send him a trophy, but I haven't done it yet. I'm so mean. Breeze is the OG. Breeze is our winner. He's our champion. All right, Wake and Bake Santa. Follow him. Breeze is very inspirational. We're doing it. Breeze, we're going to do football. We're doing it, my friend. We will transition. I'm already starting to dig into football right now, kind of look at where we're at. Didn't training camp start, or they're about to start, right? Is it mandatory? So I'm looking to get us into football as soon as I can. Seeker5, good to see you, Seeker. The better CC plays, the worse the attacks get. CC is smart. She went home. What did you? Some of these long ones get cut off. She went home to Des Moines. I would too. Look, it's the best of times and the worst of times. Caitlin Clark is, on top of the world. And I guess in the press conference they said last night, she's now off minute restriction. I didn't quite know that. So last night she played restricted minutes, but she wasn't on minute restriction because it was a blowout. And she even joked about that in the press conference. So apparently Caitlin Clark is 100% healthy. Okay. Apparently the minute restriction is off, but we'll get to that in a second. T-Will. So some staffer harassed someone in the org and he was fired. Major news. T-Will, the reason why I'm covering it, and I appreciate your skepticism. At first, when I read it, I didn't think it was a bombshell either, okay? Because a hater posted it. Brianna Turner, keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. She's an absolute hater, okay? And she posts hateful stuff all the time about Caitlin Clark and about other things, okay? But it has picked up a life of its own, T-Will. It's everywhere. New York Times just dropped a thing, Yahoo News. So after seeing that, I felt like it was important. I was going to take the night off. I know I did not expect to be on live, but I thought this is important to cover because it affects the fever. And T-Will, what if this cracks open and it's more interesting than we expect? You never know. And I think it's important to acknowledge, let's just look at it this way. Maybe the fever did the right thing. It's important to acknowledge that. We don't know, but it looks like they protected the victim, which is great. No one knew who the victim is. We still don't know who that person is. So hats off to them. It's important to protect the victims. And they took action. And it's important to take action. So I think the other side of the story is they did the right thing. So you can say that about the fever. So I'm not piling on. And it's an allegation. And I started the live off by saying, this is a serious allegation. We're treating it as serious, but we're also treating it as allegations. It's important to talk about. Breeze said, no one can beat me three-peat. All right. You know what, Breeze? I didn't want to mention you beat me twice in a row. You have dethroned me. It's hard to deal with. And I don't want you to win a third time. I don't want that. So everybody join. If you're good at fantasy, jump on and join the league just so we can beat Breeze, okay? It is a critical time for me. I don't want to lose to him again. B said sexual harassment. That is correct, B. This happened last year. Brianna Turner posted on X that a male staffer, we're taking her word for it, was investigated and fired for sexual harassment. And it's a story that's been cooking all day, and now it's everywhere. It's definitely, look, okay? The WNBA will take tweets that have nothing to do with nothing, and they will create hoaxes about it. They will make a thing out of nothing. This has something to it. So I'm expecting this to be a thing in All-Star Weekend. Maybe, maybe not. But again, look, it looks like the Fever did the right thing. But they cover shit up. That's true. One of the other disturbing parts of this is that Brianna Turner said I read it to you on X, she said people were told to shut up about it. They were told to keep quiet. They were encouraged to keep quiet. Now, maybe everyone wanted to keep quiet because they wanted to protect the victim. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's admirable. And I think it's great that we don't know who the victim is. I think the system worked for that person. Can you get a hold of me on this profile? Bree says, I will. I don't know. I guess, let me see if I can follow. I may be able to follow you right now. Let's see here. No, I can't. I don't think I can follow you on the live. But Desiree will, if Desiree's not following you, but DM me. Well, did you change your account or change the name, or is it the same account? But either way, I'll talk to you. Desiree says I'm winning this year. Okay, we're going to jump. We're going to get to, let's go through a few more comments. YouTube's been chill, but double digits. Thank you guys on YouTube, double digits on YouTube and TikTok. 10 new followers. Thank you. We've hit our follower goal. Thank you guys. 5,600 hearts. You guys are animals. 2 gifts. Thank you very much, guys. My goal today is 5 hats, 5 cowboy hats on TikTok. If you want to give me a gift, do that one. Let's see here. Annabella, thank you for the goat, which I love that. I love getting the goat. You know, that's cool. And a rose. And Asian 50 Cent sent a heart me. Thank you, sir. Now, I cannot see I'm using the TikTok desktop, so I can't see the gifts. Like, maybe I should open up the app, and that way I can see the gifts. Sorry about that, guys. Bad podcast host. I should be able to see the gifts that you guys give me. Let's see here. Let's see here. Boom, boom. Let's jump to, okay. I'm trying to jump to my live. Can I jump to my own live here? This is interesting. I don't see my own. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, by the way, guys, you can purchase Fever gear off of YouTube, and you can actually, you'll notice that I'm giving you the link to my shirt. If you want to buy the shirt, I'll give you the link to the hat. And don't forget your Wawa. You need some water, guys. Nicholas, you just subscribed on YouTube. Nicholas was started on TikTok and jumped to YouTube. Thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate you, my friend. T. Will says, I'm not blaming you. Bree Turner and media is trying to maintain a story. No worries. I don't take it personally. You guys can tell me how you feel. I never take anything personally. I mean, unless it's personal, but well, okay, I guess I do take everything personally, but I wasn't taking you personally. No, I understood. And look, it's a point to question. You should question every allegation for the truth. The point is the truth. And I also thought it was interesting because remember, the Fever fired a reporter earlier this year for reporting the truth. That's Gestapo tactics. Well, maybe that's strong. That's fascism. Maybe that's strong. That's still bad. So it's a conversation. The Fever are heavy-handed with their secrecy. So you have to assume that there's NDAs involved. T. Will said on TikTok, can you imagine? Thank you, Desiree. You're killing it tonight. Can you imagine what it's like to manage the Fever? It's never any drama. Hey, T. Will, I dropped a video called The Fever are the most dramatic team in the league. They could be the most dramatic team in sports, at least right now. I think the Chiefs are the most dramatic team. Hats off. But yes, I agree with that. It's drama, drama, drama. And when someone leaves the femur, when someone leaves the Fever, they're pissed. Everybody that leaves the Fever are so mad. It's interesting to me. But look, they're very successful. It's hard to, look back and see how successful people are and be okay with it. Look, it's egos, it's drama, it's jealousy. People are jealous. Now, Brianna Turner bringing this up was also, if you read the tweets, she's talking about a lot of political things that she believes in, which is cool. And a lot of the stuff she wrote, I'm not disagreeing with at all. And this was a throw-in line. It was like the beginning of the tweet to get your attention. The tweet has been viewed 1 million times, and some of you are probably pulling it up now. Let's see here. We have Lee Richardson. Thanks for joining on YouTube. Let's go to good evening, Lee. Lee says NDAs aren't enforceable when criminality is involved. Interesting point. Now, is it criminality or is it illegal conduct? We don't know the level of it, right? No one was arrested. No one was indicted. So I think criminality is a different classification, but you have a good point, right? There is no confidentiality when there is, a criminal investigation. But the Fever called it a personnel investigation, and the person was fired according to the news. But Lee, I don't disagree with you at all. Let's see. Desiree had to throw in, she caught the Chiefs comment. That's right. Seeker, I think the number of players who leave the Fever and play better is interesting. Well, I think it's a tough gig to go in and play on this team when Caitlin Clark is now becoming the leader. Did you hear Kelsey? I mean, they knew it was happening, but look, you have to check your ego at the door to play for this team. This team is becoming the first real prototype team to follow an NBA template, right? None of the other teams in the W are like the Fever. They have to be managed like a top franchise. They're a worldwide brand. I mean, you got people internationally chiming in and watching this show. You've got people buying merch internationally. Caitlin Clark herself is $1 billion brand. She's a Billy. The Fever now is $1 billion brand. Could you imagine how much the Fever would be worth if it was sold, right? None of these, they had no idea the success that was coming. So it's a tough gig now that's just administration. Imagine having to go and play when you're used to being equal in every team. Everybody gets equal minutes, everybody's the same, but not when you got a star like Caitlin Clark. Last night in the press conference, did you hear Kelsey Mitchell? She said, and I haven't had a chance to isolate the clip and post it on TikTok because my life's just been crazy, and it's like, here we go. She said, Caitlin's our leader, essentially, and she's driving the team. She said it in so many words. I don't want to misquote her, but I was like, what? I rewound it. Wow. Kelsey Mitchell said it in a humble manner. You know why? Because she's playing the best ball she's ever played. So how can you complain when you're getting accolades and she is more famous than she's ever been? People are now talking about her when they never did. She's in the MVP conversation. Now, they did talk about her in the league, but they didn't talk about Kelsey Mitchell outside. She was not a household name like she is now. And it's the Caitlin Clark effect. Back to Lee Richardson. Let's see here. Lee agrees with me, correct? Thank you. 3. I'm unsure on what I was saying when you said 3. Oh, $3 billion. Lee Richardson said $3 billion in bets annual on Caitlin Clark. Yes, she's a Billy. That's right. This is why point shaving is happening, right? This is why there's so many problems. Is the league is rife with corruption because they just don't have the checks and balances or the oversight or the transparency that is now being forced on them by the media and by people like us who want to know. T. Will said Fever is worth $560 million. Okay, interesting. I was going to say they're probably worth $500 million. I didn't even know that, but I didn't say it because, sometimes there's certain things that pop in your head. If you're unclear, you don't want to say them. But I was tracking. That's interesting. Thank you. John Leo Bet, thanks for joining late. Is that a Francais flag? Francais. It looks like the flag on one of my cologne bottles. Yes, I like the high-class cologne. John, Brianna Turner on X, over 1 million views. You can check it out. This morning, 23 hours ago, she posted, last year there was a cover-up, sexual harassment scandal. A male staffer was fired, and the Fever organization told everybody to keep quiet. So now it's becoming nationwide news. New York Times, Yahoo News, everybody's covering it. So I said, we need to go on and talk about it. People are going to want to talk about it. Back to YouTube. Lee Richardson, one of our faves, said, Goldman Sachs, which manages 16% of the world's wealth, bought CC Management Company for $1 billion. Interesting. Lee, I'm going to look in on that. Lee is a very sophisticated person. Lee knows his business, man. That's interesting. All right, I'm going to check that out. I should probably do something on that. I'm now intrigued on the financial aspect. The truth is, it's really all about the money. I don't know why I didn't think about it sooner. Wake and Bake Santa said, he's going back and forth with Forever Sweet. I love it when you guys start talking amongst each other, and then I run over the comments. Guys, 6,000 hearts. 11 new followers on TikTok. Thank you. We're in double digits on TikTok and YouTube. YouTubers, you put your comments in, you'll notice it's popping up on the screen. TikTok, you can't see it. One more quarter. What's up? Cheers. What's up to you? Thank you, sir, for joining. Appreciate you watching. Let's see here. If you guys want to get, another follower. Thank you guys on TikTok. We're about to go into some basketball talk. We'll do a little all-star talk in a second. I'm feeling that we're moving over to that. So no disrespect to anyone that feels like we're not talking about the scandal anymore. There isn't a lot of detail to it. I read you what's out there. It's basically for what she tweeted, and you know that some reporters are trying to crack the code on it. You know they're calling her off the hook, and she's probably told some media who it is, and they're probably trying to verify it. But this story has legs. There you go. Who's Tammy? Hey, who's Tammy? Love your energy. Follow me. Who's Tammy? Thank you. If you follow me, I'll follow you back. So who's Tammy? If you followed me, send me a DM. Some of them are locked out, but I may be able to see it. And you can also connect with Desiree to make sure I follow you. Thank you. Oh, the Philippines. Sorry about that, T. Will. John's flag is the Philippines. Sorry about that. It's very small. And maybe the cologne's from the Philippines. I don't know. But that's pretty dope. Thank you for joining. We are getting a lot of some people will chime on in their native language, which is great, and Desiree will translate. So, guys, if you want me to follow you, here's another way. Who's Tammy? Not that I'm trying to get money from you, but if you subscribe for $2.99, you get access to a direct DM to me, and I follow you back automatically. You're in our fantasy league, so if you want to be followed, for sure, go ahead and subscribe. And then also you're going to be notified about my lives. The first TikTok notifies you in waves. So if you're subscribed, if you follow me, you get on one of the first waves, second wave, third wave, depending on how they do it. Because I have thousands of followers. If you subscribe to me, you're on the first wave. You get first notification. Sometimes on my own phone, I don't get the notification until like the second wave. It starts sending it out. Let's see here. Guys, thanks for watching. Double digits on YouTube and TikTok. This is an off day. I was going to rest. I'm losing my voice. Sorry about that. I was going to rest tonight, but this story was breaking. I saw it this morning. I saw it pop up live. I follow her on Twitter, right? And it popped up and I was like, what are you doing here? Come on, man. And I think I wrote a comment that said, we should protect the victims. I kind of feel like she's exploiting the victim here. I don't think there was any reason to do it other than to do it on All-Star Eve so she could get viral on All-Star Weekend. Hoosier Tammy, you followed me a while ago. Thank you, Hoosier Tammy. Sorry about that. Okay, so I will look to follow you. Desiree and I will communicate. You know what? When you guys ask me for things like that, which is really cool, Desiree always reminds me. So thank you, Desiree. Guys, we're coming up on the hour. We're going to wrap in a second. Juan said, what's going on? You just joined. Juan, what's up? Juan, Brianna Turner posted on X this morning that there was a cover-up in the Fever organization concerning a sexual harassment allegation and that they fired a male staffer. That's all we know, but it's news everywhere. Check out your local news feed, and you can get some details, but that's pretty much the details is what I told you. But I thought it was important to talk about because the Fever have a history of covering shit up. We know that. My thing was, what did they cover up between the Caitlin Clark, Stephanie White debacle a month or two ago when they started brawling, and then the rumor hit that they were trying to trade Caitlin to LA, and then somebody else really famous said, Caitlin's out of there. It was a hot rumor that there was a beef, and then all of a sudden they started saying we ride with each other, which was really weird. And then, as you know, all the chaos was ensuing. And then the Fever banned a reporter who knew what was going on with some of this stuff. So interesting stuff. Brianna did this for clicks, said Seeker on TikTok. 100%. 100%. I got to say, I'm not judging her because you should never judge somebody that tries to bring truth. But you can judge their motives, right? And I also feel like if you're the victim in this situation and it's been kept secret for a year, now Brianna Turner puts it out there, that's a problem. So there's a victim out here that's dealing with this, right? So I feel really terrible for that person. But we don't really have any idea who that person is or at what, where they were in the organization. T-Well said, gotta go, coach. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm going to wrap too. I appreciate your time. Any time you guys spend with me is amazing. You guys could spend your time anywhere. There's hundreds of streamers, and they're talking about all sorts of different things about the WNBA, but you guys choose to be with me, and I really respect that. Thank you. Lee Richardson, thank you for chiming in for real. Let's see here. Tia Maria, good to see you. Again, it's not her place. I agree with that. I agree it's not her place, but she let the cat out of the bag, and so here it is, right? I agree with that. If I was the victim, I'd be pissed off, right? Hoosier Tammy said on TikTok, do you think this has anything to do with Bonner? It's a weird situation. Bonner was on like a non-guaranteed. Everybody was excited about Bonner, but keep in mind, remember the year before, Caitlin and Bonner, I guess the first year, there was some moments they got into it, and they were nasty to each other. So when Bonner came aboard, I was like, okay, this will be interesting. And Bonner had a couple of huge games, but then just became, I guess, a cancer in the locker room. But look, it's a noteworthy situation that went down. And maybe she was very upset with the Fever and walked because of it. But the other side of that is her wife was she was on Phoenix. I think didn't Bonner go to Connecticut first? Anyway. So now they're on the same team playing together, right? So some people said it was just a matter of her just trying to manipulate the system to be with her wife on the same team, which is another wild thing for me. It's like the WNBA's got the wildest shit going on because it's like two people on a team that are married to me is a conflict of interest. I don't see how that could ever work because I just don't understand it, but it's all good. Seeker's out. Good night, Seeker. On that note, I think we should wrap. Let's see here. Let's see. Did I miss anything? Thanks for joining, you guys. Okay, so we'll do the quick commercial, which we will always do. Thank you guys for coming back. Appreciate that. Just a quick recap. We had Asian 50 Cent join, who's a really dope friend of mine. He has an incredible story. They've done all sorts of media on him. They've done TV specials. This guy's he's at millions and millions of views on all of his podcasts. I did two podcasts with him in my archive. We'll bring him on to talk some sports. That'll be fun. We'll bring him on soon, probably around football season. So check him out. That was a highlight. We did talk about this scandal. Check out the Fever's website, the Fever's X account. They have their statement. Check out the X account for Brianna Turner. It is interesting. You should read it. Lee Richardson said in a YouTube, Bri is complicit in the cover-up as well if she knew, and said nada. Lee is the most sophisticated person we know. Brilliant. That's brilliant. Well, you know it's brilliant. That's why you said it. I can't disagree. So it goes to her character, why she's doing this now. Look, whenever you attack the Fever, you go viral. And look, there's a reason why we do Fever Talk. People like it. Numbers are great. But I've been a fan for years of Caitlyn, so for me, it's natural. People are now jumping in on the bandwagon. There's nothing wrong with that. So I appreciate everyone. Everyone is equally respected and included in what we do. So that being said, we're going to wrap up, guys. You can jump off if you want on YouTube and TikTok. The show is over, but I'm going to do the commercials, so thank you. Oh, Lee Richardson also said, a little more basketball talk. Steph and Bonner had a relationship. I believe if you look at the timeline when Steph went on leave and Bonner were missing, coincided. That's interesting. Well, you know, Stephanie is friends. Yeah, she's friends with Bonner and Bonner's wife, who attacked Caitlyn with the fist. She is friends with a lot of people in the league, and she has history, right? And so that's why there were concerns that maybe Steph was not on board with Caitlyn Clark and trying to devalue her a little bit and make her more equal, right? To make it easier for people to succeed against her. Caitlyn Clark will embarrass you and humiliate your team. Caitlyn Clark will really put a damper on your season. Caitlyn Clark takes no prisoners. So I can appreciate Caitlyn comes in and tries to light it up, and you've got all these folks that have stakes in the WNBA who are invested on trying to manage her. There was a rumor that and there was some heat on it that the WNBA Illuminati and some of these people that are really behind the WNBA were pushing on Stephanie White to rein in Caitlyn Clark. And that could have been why there was that blow up this year. Maybe nothing related to last year, but you're right, Lee. If we dig into that history, the Bonner thing was quite a bomb that was dropped, and that could have coincided. Yeah, who knows? You know, maybe Stephanie. Obviously Stephanie knows who it is. Obviously Caitlyn knows. The higher ups know who it is. Caitlyn is a leader. She's going to know a lot of these things, and they were all told to cover it up. So apparently, allegedly, but look. You know, again, you have to look at the victim in this. Quantum Flow, what's up? Right? I know you're late to the party. You'll have to jump on YouTube. But Brianna Turner this morning accused the Fever of covering up a sexual harassment scandal. A male staffer was fired. You can check her X account. It's now going viral. It's national news. And that the Fever players and staff were told to keep it quiet, zip the lip, and that there was a cover-up. So I thought it would be interesting and important to talk about it tonight. So we are dropping out on that talk. So again, I have to wrap up the show. It is 8:30 my time. Not too bad. I'm going to wrap the show, but let's get to the commercial. Lee Richardson, CC is an apex predator, 100%. That's why we watch her. She's the Clark father. She brings her family into town and they whack you. She's the Don Clark. Okay. So here, Don Caitlyn. So here's the commercial, guys. I'm just gonna really pitch a couple of things. One, please hype this video. If you're on YouTube, use your hype. Everybody has hype points. You can hype you can hype 3 videos a week. Please hype my videos. What that is it's a free point system that pushes my video to the public feed the more it's hyped. So that would be helpful. Also, please consider being a member. We talked about that earlier. If you're into fantasy, it's pretty dope. $2.99. Please like the video. And if you can share the video, that would be super cool. Your comments are great. Put a comment. If you don't like me, tell me you don't like me. Comments are great too. Interacting is great. But I would like to encourage you guys to become a member and be part of our fantasy league. If you're into fantasy football, it's the greatest fantasy football league ever. Carlton Ring, good to see you. We're about to sign off. You guys are joining up late, but go to Jason J. Daniel on YouTube for the archive. The whole show is archived. If you're on TikTok, Real Jason J. Daniel, we do not archive it on TikTok. They don't do that. I mean, they save it for 30 days so I can take clips, but they don't archive the whole thing. But also, check this out. You will get personal access to a members-only live show when we do football. Once a week, I'm going to do the same thing, members only, no public. It's going to be fantasy football talk. We're going to give you fantasy conversation to help you win. I'm going to be here. Obviously, our other fantasy experts, Breeze, is who he came on earlier. Desiree will join. We've got people that know the game and they know our league, and they will help you win your league. They're very smart. It's free, not free, but it's great advice, basically free just for a subscription. It doesn't cost you much. If you join before preseason, it's only $3. Preseason is $10. This is the best league you've ever played. Trust me. That's why and it's going to fill up fast. That's why we're hyping it early. It's our third year. It's called the League of Goats. League of Goats 3. And you get I keep saying I'll send Breeze the trophy. I need to send him a trophy. We have a trophy and everything. And there's no cash prizes, but the money goes to supporting what we do. And also, I need you to have skin in the game, because if you don't pay for it, you're going to bounce out if you're struggling. And then it makes it bad for everybody else. So we require everyone to purchase a subscription except the winner, okay? The champion does not have to purchase a subscription because the champion is automatically grandfathered in. But yeah, it's a monthly subscription. So overall, you'll be paying maybe $30 or $40 because it's every month as the football season goes on. But our playoff system is incredible. We do a strength head-to-head. It's not a typical playoff system. And then we also have a rivalry week. So if somebody's making you mad, you can call them out, and I will set your lineups. Right around the middle of the season, I start setting the lineups to strength. So let's say somebody is just kicking ass, right? And they're ahead of the pack. When our playoffs start, which is essentially the middle of the season, I will take that person and match them up with the strongest team until and everybody gets matched up by strengths every week for the last, so like 50% of the season. So we let the app is called Sleeper. Sleeper creates it gives us the schedule just randomly, and then I set the schedule depending on strength, right? So it's pretty fun, and it's harder. Plus, no one gets a free ride. It's like Highlander, only one survives. So when we do that system, there's never a tie at the end. It makes for a better league. Forever a Swifty, Desiree said it's fantastic the way we set it up. It's so much more fun. It is. People get mad at each other. It's crazy. We have drama every year. You know what's crazy is I always want to throw people out, and then I message Desiree and I go, should I throw these people? So it's great. And we even there was one, Ernie. Was it Ernie? Ernie was losing, and then when the switch hit on the week 8 and we started going strength to strength, he started climbing the ladder, and he was taking on Breeze for the championship. So a guy who was bottom barrel through half of the season was able to almost win the championship because our league is designed to give everybody a shot and still keep it competitive. You're never out of it. And I'm not even talking about how many points you can score hundreds of points. It's crazy. There are mega crazy bonuses. It's not like you play a fantasy league and it's like 13 points here. You score 50 points all weekend. It's boring as hell. No, you can score 500 to 700. It's a really great league. Okay, we're gonna jump off. Let's see here. Hobie Harvey Izzy version. That's a long name. Wow, a scandal going on. That's crazy. Are you being sarcastic? If you're not, that's a good way to end it. Yes, check it out. There is a scandal. And I feel like there's going to be more that comes out of it. Maybe not. Yeah, Desiree says we get mad at each other. We're competitive. I know. We start getting really mad at each other. All right, guys. So there's a commercial. Thanks for joining. Have a great night. We're logging off. Thanks again to Desiree, who's always ready to jump in and chime in and help you out. Guys, if you missed it, if you're joining late, go to YouTube, Jason J. Daniel. I don't want to muddle my name. You can watch the entire archive in my live section. So tonight's number is 6,150 hearts. Thank you. Guys are dope. 13 new followers on TikTok. Thank you, guys. 1,000 views. That's awesome. 1,000 views tonight. And we are still in double digits. We've been in double digits all night on TikTok and YouTube. And thank you, Lee, on YouTube. Thank you, One More Quarter. Thank you, Agent 50 Cent, who chimed in. He's a celeb. He's a famous guy. We love that. Joe, thanks for chiming in. And Carlton Ringing, sorry you joined late. I know, it was a surprise event. Did not plan on going on, but whenever there's breaking news, check my feed. I might be going on.